Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with a new show. Football is back. The Premier League is very, very soon back with us. And Aston Villa go to the London Stadium to take on West Ham on Saturday. So this is the first of our opposition previews called In the Away End. And joining me in the away end is the man himself, Mr. Lawless, Dan Lawless of West Ham United TV. He's the legend. Thank you for joining us, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. Going into this, excited, nervous, feel nauseous, sick. I don't know, man. This is going to be crazy. This is unlike any season I've ever experienced before, man. I'm nervous going into this one.
Yeah, I think everyone is. I think the anticipation has been mad. Obviously, we've had the Euros, we've had the Olympics, had the Copa America, and I think the build-up for this season, it seems to never, ever let up. But there's so many teams now that seem to be up there competing, and Aston Villa and West Ham can certainly say that they are two of those teams, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's good to see the teams, breaking in and upsetting the cartel, as they say. We've sort of done it the last few seasons. Newcastle as well have been one of them clubs. This season could be more of the same. So we'll see. Like I said, it's going to be a long season with a lot of twists and turns, and I don't know what to expect from West Ham this season.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into it. We're going to talk, obviously, the game. We're going to get your predictions as well and your thoughts on Villa too. But going on to West Ham, I mean, a bit of a turbulent, I guess, pre-season, like really active in the market. New manager, David Moyes going out, Lopetegui coming in. What have you made of the pre-season so far for West Ham?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing with pre-season, we haven't been blowing teams away. We did win the Betway Cup, first trophy in the bag, always good. But yeah, we haven't been, because we're trying to figure out this new style of play, which looks a lot better than what we saw under David Moyes. Quick 1-2 touch passes, moving the ball quickly, a lot more attacking, high pressing. Which is exciting, but that's obviously going to have a period of transition while the players go from playing Moyes ball and, just passing the ball slowly around the back and just building up slowly to this more high energy style of play. So, it's one of them things with preseason. As long as I'm seeing some progress on the pitch, that's what I'm happy about, getting to see some signs. We've got the signings in early, which is hugely, hugely important. We got seven players in before the start of the season. That's huge. And I think a lot of them are the right players to fit Lopetegui. We're still waiting for that one name we've been chasing. Villa's been, playing a little bit hardball. I've been going at it with the Villa fans on Twitter. I think you've been taking the mick, to be honest. But I
saw those tweets. We'll talk the big man who's apparently Villa's number 9 at the minute. But yeah, I mean, you talk about signings. You've brought in Max Kilman. I think a few people have forgot about that, but a big signing in finance and in stature. I thought he was a good signing as well from Wolves, Somerville from Leeds, Fulkrug from Dortmund, and there's another attacking player I think you've brought in. But like you say, 7 more signings. So how have what have you made of
it? Was a big signing, yeah.
Say that again.
We got
Oh yeah,
Todibo as well.
yeah, Villa were interested in him, so that's a big signing. So, what have you made of kind of the transfer activity for West Ham? Because up there with the most active clubs in the market.
Yeah, look, I wasn't expecting it. Like in this era of just this stringent profit and sustainability measures, like I wasn't expecting it. Moyes was backed quite heavily during his time. I think he spent nearly $500 million. So I didn't know where it was at. Obviously, we sold Rice for over 100 mil last season, but we brought players in. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it to this level and to just be this quick and decisive with it. And it's impressive. What we've done is seem to take a bit of a leaf out of Chelsea's book and sign some players to long-term contracts. Obviously got Wan-Bissaka in on a 7-year deal.
Yes, Wan-Bissaka, yeah.
Spread that out over. But having a director of football have total control has made all the difference. Moyes got the nickname Duran Dave from the Everton fans, and that's what it was like in the transfer window. He wasn't quick and decisive at all. You got someone whose job is just focused on them transfers, and Tim Steidten. He goes and gets them in. So yeah, like I'm loving it. And apparently we're not done. We need to still, get some players off the books. If you'd like Danny Ings back, we'll talk. You know what I mean? Maybe a swap deal for Duran. That you owe us for that transfer alone. The fact that we gave
how many games has Danny Ings played for you guys?
All I know is, I can't say off the top of my head, all I know is in 18 months, he scored 3 goals.
Yeah. That guy
he did score a free kick in pre-season.
Okay. He seems to collect signing on fees. I mean, he must have made an absolute fortune in signing on bonuses, that guy.
That guy he's still, nothing against him personally, but he's stealing a living. He's stealing a living, and you owe us we gave you, what was it, 15 mil? That's outrageous. That is outrageous. Moyes has blood on his hands for that one.
Well, let's talk about John Duran, because it seems to have been a much long-running transfer saga across the whole window, and I guess apparently it was 32 million plus Lewis Orford at one point was being discussed, and then he signed a longer-term deal, I believe, and then Villa rejected that bid, and then you went for Fulkrug. Now it seems like it's back on again, and the clubs are talking, but Duran's back in training with Villa. So, what's your understanding of the situation?
The common belief from a section of quite a large section of West Ham fans is that Villa are prolonging it until after we play you. You don't want to sell him to us before the game, like strengthen us before we play you, which, yeah, could be understandable. It's a risk. I feel like the packages we offered Villa were more than fair. I think it went up to 35 million without Orford. They decided they wanted to keep Orford. But yeah, 35 mil. I think that was more than fair. But Villa just holding out for this 40 mil. And you've got a player, like I said, who, when a player goes and does that, he went on Instagram Live, he gave it the crossed hammers. It's hard to go back from that. That's a physical violation right there. So yeah, for Villa to get that money and being able to then reinvest it even further into your squad, like you said, there's still some more players you want to get. I know you're linked with João Felix, who Chelsea are after. There's a couple of other players. I think who was you linked with from Palace? Was it Edward? Who was on Mateta?
Yeah.
Mateta.
Then there's the defensive positions. There's Gertruida from Feyenoord. And there's Diego Carlos that should be going out somewhere as well. And now they're saying Cameron Archer they're sending out on loan to Union Berlin or in Germany or Getafe in Spain. So I don't know where that leaves the John Duran situation, because I still think they would want to get the money in for him, but then to only leave Ollie Watkins, if Cameron Archer then goes out on loan and we sell Duran, to only leave Ollie Watkins and potentially a Morgan Rogers to cover up front at times, is leaving us extremely short. So yeah, I think they need to look at doing something if it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely seems to be an intention for Villa to get another striker in from the moves I've seen you make and the links and things like that. So, if you are going to get that striker in, it don't make sense to have Duran as a third choice. Do you know what I mean? Just because he could turn into this amazing player one day, when you can get that 35 mil and strengthen for now, when you've got a Champions League campaign ahead of you and you want to get back into Europe. The future is great, but this is where you need to sort of solidify your position as one of the European regulars. Do you know what I mean? So being able to, have him go out, get that money and invest in some talent that's going to hit the ground running and be on board the Villa train, is not have his mind out the door and all of that stuff, and the problems behind the scenes, and I just think it's a no-brainer. But that's just me. I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, the club must have their reasons, but I do definitely take your point, mate. So on to Villa with regards to the transfers. The big signing has been Amadou Onana. Ian Matson's come in. Jaden Philogene has come in as well, and then they've done the obviously various swap deals with the clubs. Douglas Luiz going out the door, 2 players coming in, and then obviously Moussa Diaby going to Saudi. So I don't know how much you followed the Villa throughout the pre-season, but what have you made of the kind of transfer activity that they have done so far, and how do you think they're set up for this season to compete on all fronts?
Yeah, I rate the Onana signing. I think that's a good sign. That's a player we were initially linked with before we sort of messed him about and ended up struggling at Everton. But he was a bright spark in their team for sure. And I think in a better team like Villa with better players around him, I think he'll thrive. So I definitely rate that signing. This Luiz swap deal, right? I need to hear this from you, because I know a certain deluded Villa fan, right? As I have to see your way, named Billy. And he tried to convince us, after saying that Douglas Luiz was worth £120 million initially, when it turned out he was going for this swap deal, he said that's not a bad deal. Now, I don't know what you think, Rich, but to go from being worth 120 million to get swapped for these one player, did you get the what's his name from Leeds? He was at Leeds.
We've got Enzo Barrenechea, and Sam Illing Jr.
Oh, so you didn't get McKennie, so it's what?
No, we didn't get him in the end.
You didn't get McKennie,
No,
but
no.
yeah, like to go from that, I can't look at that. They may be good, but his justification was, and it's a justification for every signing for Villa. Oh well, Emery can just make him good. That's how it works. Emery. Yeah, it's a good deal because Emery's here. So whatever player that we swap Douglas Luiz for, Emery can sprinkle his magic on. We go get Andy Carroll, and fucking Emery's going to turn him into superstar, prime Ibrahimovic. Like, talk to me, Rich. I
understand. I understand what you're saying. Now, for me, I think to be put into the situation with profit and sustainability was not ideal at all. And I spoke to a guy called Tom Colomasi, who's a Daily Mail Midlands journalist, and he kind of said, right up, even in April and May when they were in the Conference League semi-finals, there was a lot of kind of worried faces around about knowing that they had this June deadline looming over their heads to try and get over this PSR problem. And obviously other clubs know this, so they know that they can, ultimately potentially hold Villa to ransom because they need to sell. So Villa knew that they needed to sell a big name player to kind of satisfy these rules. Now, out of, say, Emi Martinez, Ollie Watkins, Douglas Luiz, even probably Ezri Konsa, I'd say Douglas Luiz is the one player I would say out of those 4 big name Villa players, I'd say if you had to sell, I'd say go and sell him. That would be out of those 4 players, because he's a brilliant footballer, but there's elements of his game that I think he could improve on. And I think there was times where Emery was really frustrated with him and would really have a go at him because he slows the game down and knows that kind of stuff. That's my opinion. However, the money that we got, the ultimate deal and the valuation, I think we've had to deal at that level, like 45 million or whatever it was, plus those two players. I don't think is the value. I think we've been done out in the value of that deal. I think we've lost, and I think we'll realise, looking at the pre-season, as good a sign as Onana is and as good a player as Tielemans is, I do think that we will ultimately end up missing Douglas Luiz quite a lot if we don't.
Onana's a completely different player,
Yeah,
and that's the thing. So it's going to
yeah.
be interesting to see if Onana's going to have to try and do that shoehorn into the Douglas Luiz role,
I
or
think
you're going
they'll
to have to
try and get
change.
Tielemans to do some elements of it, and they brought Onana in for the physicality, because we have missed that in the team. But in an ideal world, Unai would have all of those players, wouldn't he? He wouldn't have sold him. So yeah, it it is one of those where, you know, you can get a bit revisionist and say, oh well, we didn't need him anyway. Like, it is that. I do think we will end up missing him, but I can understand the reasons why, out of the bigger players, he was the one to kind of be sold. And even to the sense of Diaby, probably wouldn't in an ideal world be sold. But if you're looking at Leon Bailey, Musa Diaby situation, maybe you can bring in a younger player like a Philogene to be the understudy. I can understand why they let Diaby go as well. It's just a shit rule, mate. It's just a shit rule, this profit and sustainability.
Well, Man United seemingly got out of it for special circumstances that no one knows about. Like,
the COVID,
yeah.
COVID was bad in Manchester. Did you not know? It was really bad.
They had it worse than everyone else, apparently. And it just lasted longer.
Yeah, it is a funny one. But obviously now, going into the game on Saturday, the big opening of the Premier League, live on Sky, 5:30 kickoff Saturday afternoon. We're both going to be there. What are you expecting from the game,
mate? All I'm expecting is I don't know what to expect. I'm expecting the unexpected. Like, this game, yeah, I think it will be an open game based on how we're looking to play and how Villa play. It could be an end-to-end game. There could be a high score and it could be really tense. It's so hard to predict. The atmosphere, I think, is going to be incredible. The fans are just, it's like we've had a bit of a dark cloud lifted over our heads. And it's not to throw Moyes under the bus too much in terms of what he's done, but it's just going to the games live, watching that type of football. It made it so hard to get an atmosphere going. Do you know what I mean? When you're seeing your team on the front foot, it makes it much easier for the fans to get up for it. So I think that will definitely play a part. And yeah, listen, I expect goals. I expect us to score. Our defense was a shambles last season. I think we conceded the most goals outside of the bottom three. So Todibo, Kilman have to come straight in. Wan-Bissaka, I think he would be key in this game. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's the thing with our defense. Like I said, defensively, and we've seen some of those same struggles sort of carry over into pre-season. So I'll be very interested. I'll be looking at our defense more than our attack, to be honest with you.
So are you?
But yeah, man, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, are you expecting quite a few of the new signings to start then?
Yeah, and see, this is a thing as well, right? When you have the same manager, right, season on season, like Moyes, I know what to expect from David Moyes because I know he does not play new signings straight away. This team in Lopetegui, him coming into the club brand new, I'm not sure what he's going to do. I think he'll favour the new signings that have had more of a pre-season with us. So Kilman, for example, was signed early, so we'll likely see Kilman in. You'll probably see Antonio up top over Füllkrug because he's had more of a pre-season. But yeah, the other signings, I look at it and I think, just throw Todibo in there, man. He's a clear upgrade on what we've got. Doesn't matter. Listen, if he's had a pre-season with his club, it doesn't matter. Same as Wan-Bissaka. If he's had a pre-season with his club, doesn't matter. I know they've got to catch on to the ideas and to be in sync with the rest of the team. But they've got some training sessions under their belt. Let's go. But yeah, man, I think the team we played against, in the, I think it was Real Betis in the Betway Cup, I think it will be similar to that. So like I said, you'll see, a couple of new signings, but it'll be mostly the same players. And then you've got like someone like Somerville, who I think is going to be excellent for us, but he's going to be key off the bench, I think. So yeah, we'll have those players to bring off the bench, and I think Fulkrug will come off the bench. So we'll see. Rodriguez will probably play, because Alvarez is injured, so we'll probably have Rodriguez, who we got on a free transfer, which I think is great business, getting him in World Cup winner with your boy Emi Martinez. So yeah, man, like I said, this is going to be the hardest. This is the hardest game for me to predict.
Yeah, it's always funny, isn't it? First game of the season. I mean, Villa lost 5-1 to Newcastle first game of last season, and then obviously went on to have a really good season. So I'm getting this in now. I'm not going to read too much into the first game, first game of the season, unless we win 5-1, in which case we're going to win the league. But yeah, I mean, is there anyone from the Villa side that you particularly think West Ham need to watch out for? Is there anyone who you rate really highly in that Villa team?
Yeah, I mean, it's Watkins for sure is the threat if he's going to be ready. I know he was with the England team.
Yeah, he didn't play in the last
Euro.
friendly. I think they're doing some sort of behind closed doors friendly at some point this week, but I don't know whether he starts. I don't. I have to say.
That would be news to my ears. That would be massive. I think if he didn't start, yeah, I'd love that. That is a big worry. I think in terms of he's just a goal scorer, and he sort of got hard done by in the Euros. Really, he should have got more game time than he got. He just kept playing Harry Kane. But yeah, Ramsey, I think, is quality. Every time I've seen, I really rate Jacob Ramsey. I think he's a really good player. So yeah, if Watkins ain't playing, like, he'll be definitely one of the players. Like Leon Bailey, for me, he kind of has looked a bit better, but I'm still not sold on him as the guy. Do you know what I mean? Like last season, I think we saw the best of Bailey in a Villa shirt, but still not consistent enough. Do you know what I mean? To match up to the levels of the rest of the team we're doing. But he can definitely be a handful for sure.
Yeah, it's about it's always with Bailey. It's away from home. It's how much we can get him the ball, and if we can get him the ball, then we give him an impact. He can have an impact. Sorry, but I definitely. He was fantastic last season at so many points. But I do understand what you're saying. There was sometimes, particularly that early season away from home, he wouldn't be as effective as he could be, and I hope to see that from him this season. But it is going to be a very, very, very interesting game. It's a tough game for both teams, and Villa don't do well at Upton Park or the London Stadium. I mean, I think it was 2011 or something, or 2012 the last time Villa won there. So against you guys away from home. So you've definitely got the upper hand on this fixture, mate.
Yeah, yes, and I'm hoping it stays that way. Like I said, because this game is so crucial. It's huge. Like, yeah, we can afford to lose this game, of course. Like, you lose this game, first game under new manager, new system, it's going to take some time. But if we get completely destroyed, you know what I mean, and ship 5 goals or something, it really is not a positive start into this new era. We want to start on the right foot, and not because we've got a tough start of games like Villa at home, Palace away, which we don't let DC this, but we haven't always had good results there. And then we've got Man City at home. It's crazy. We actually don't leave London until November. That's the mad thing.
Yeah.
So we need to make the most of it. But yeah, so I'm really nervous going into this because it is so important that we have a good showing. Even if we lose, we look good. Like, we see something good. But a win would be huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah. So to round it off, mate, I've got to do this. What's your score prediction for Saturday's game?
Let's have 2-1 West Ham in the new era, the Lopetegui era, getting off to a flying start. Yeah, Bowen is definitely he's hungry. He's just got the captain's armband. He is going to be raring to go, and him and Kudus are going to get the 2 goals for West Ham and bring the 3 points in the new era.
Well, I like your confidence, mate, and I like your enthusiasm. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 2-1 Villa. I think it'll be a close game. I'm going to say 2-1 Villa, and I'm going to say Morgan Rogers and Amadou Onana on his first Premier League start for Villa will get the goals.
Actually, I'll change it. I'm going to change it. Bowen and John Duran own goal. With the hammer celebration afterwards.
just to get him in with the fans straight away for the week after. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, Dan, thank you for your time, mate. Amazing stuff. We will look forward to the game. I'm returning the favour on your channel as well in the next couple of days, so that'll be excellent to be on the preview. Where can people find you though, mate? Shout out your channels and your various social media.
Yeah, I know I'm everywhere, unfortunately, these days. But yeah, there's the Twitter handle. I also launched my solo channel just recently, Lawless Live. You can type that in the YouTube. I come up now. It was some random guy that filmed like concerts on his mobile phone. That was the top search choice. But yeah, I come up now, so you can go and check that. I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, man, you can go and see some stuff there.
Fantastic, mate. Well, like I say, best of luck for the season after Saturday. Make sure everyone, you smash the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so get your comments in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help us on the road to 5K. We've got plenty more shows to come. As I say, I'm on West Ham Fan TV in a couple of days' time. I think tomorrow, as in Friday, we've got our live show, our full match reaction with the boys coming up. Instant match reaction, hopefully after a victory, and potentially some transfer rumour talk roundup as well. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa.